This is Chapter 3, Section 3.1, Lines and Angles. Pause the video while you try the warm-up problems, and then hit play when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, so coplanar points lie in the same plane. Supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is 180 degrees. A point is the intersection of two distinct intersecting lines. A linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. Parallel lines are coplanar and do not intersect. List two pairs of parallel lines. So the parallel lines are marked by these arrows. So for instance, line EG, these are lines, not line segments, so line EG is parallel to, that's our symbol for parallel to, FH. Okay, perpendicular lines intersect at 90 degrees. List two pairs of perpendicular lines. I'm going to go back, I just realized I needed to list two pairs. So another pair of parallel lines, line AB, is parallel to line EF. Okay, back to what I was saying. Perpendicular lines, so formed by a right angle. So I'm looking at this right angle box here. So line EG is perpendicular to line GH. And another pair, I see another right angle, line EA is perpendicular to, it's an upside down T, line AB. Okay, skew lines are not coplanar, not parallel, and do not intersect. So they kind of have nothing in common. I had a student say they're ew lines. If that works for you, please use it. So for instance, like GH and BF. They do not intersect. They're not parallel. They're not coplanar. So line GH and line BF are skew. And parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. List a pair of parallel planes. Remember, parallel planes can, to name a plane, you need three letters. Think about planes, think about like the airports, like FLL is Fort Lauderdale, right? BOS is Boston. The airport codes are three letters, so that's one way you can remember that planes are named with three letters. So a pair of parallel planes, that would basically be like the top and bottom, for instance, or you could do the left and right hand side or the front and back side of this 3D figure. So parallel planes, we have plane, remember with three letters, so maybe I could say plane EAB is parallel to plane GCD. A pair of parallel segments, so this time it's line segments and I'm looking at my parallel arrowheads here that I'm covering in black. So for instance, I could pick line segment NK is parallel to line segment ML. A pair of skew segments, so remember the lines are not coplanar, do not intersect, or not parallel. So I could pick these lines I'm marking in black, line NK and line MR are skew. Name a pair of perpendicular segments. I'm looking for the right angle box. So I have, for instance, line NS is perpendicular to, upside down T, SR. And a pair of parallel planes, names with three letters. This time I'll do front and back. So let me highlight. That's my front piece. And my back piece. A little bit tricky to see, but hopefully you have that. So my front plane, the one closest to me, I could call that maybe plane NSR is parallel to plane KPQ, for instance. Okay, notice we have two lines cut by a transversal here. It creates an interior and an exterior, if you want to think of the interior like the road and maybe the exterior is like grass or a sidewalk. A transversal is a line that intersects two coplanar lines at two different points. So I'm looking at transversal T, marked by the cursive letter T. So we can use that to name our line. And 8 angles are formed by the lines R, S, and T. And those angles are numbered there. So corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal. List 4 pairs of corresponding angles. So corresponding angles, I like to think of this as the first 4 angles. If you take those and you stack it on top of the next 4 angles, it's what would line up if that were the case. So for instance, angle 1 and angle 5. Or we could have angle 2 and angle 6. Angle 3 and angle 7. Angle 4 and angle 8. Alternate interior angles, they have to be within the interior, so in the red marked by the image above. And alternate would be opposite sides of the transversal. So for instance, 3 and 6 are alternate interior angles. So angle 3 and angle 6. And our other pair of alternate angles would be angle 4 and angle 5. Alternate exterior angles lie on opposite sides of the transversal outside the other two lines. So I'm looking at exterior angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal. So for instance, angle 1 and angle 8, and my other pair of alternate exterior angles would be angle 2 and angle 7. Same side interior angles lie on the same side of the transversal between the other two lines. List the 2 pairs of same side interior angles. So same side interior, they're on the inside, but they're on the same side of the transversal. So for instance, angle 3 and angle 5. And another example would be angle 4 and angle 6. Okay, we need to give an example of each angle pair. So corresponding angles, remember those are if you take the first 4 and stack them on the next 4, what would match up? So for instance, angle 1 and angle 5 go together. Those are corresponding angles. Alternate interior, so I need to be within the interior of the two lines. So let me highlight the interior. Is in yellow here, and the exterior would be in blue. So if I'm looking for alternate interior, I'm looking within the yellow, and alternate is opposite sides of the transversal. So for instance, angle 4 and angle 6. Alternate exterior, same idea. We're looking in the exterior, so the blue area, and I'm looking for 2 angles on opposite sides of the transversal. So that would be angle 1 and angle 7, for instance. And then same side interior, well that's on the inside, but on the same side of the transversal. So for instance, angle 4 and angle 5. Okay, these tend to be a little bit more challenging for people, so I'm going to be identifying the transversal and classifying the angle pair. So I'm looking at angle 1 and angle 5. I know that they're both connected to this line right now. So my transversal is line N. So we're in between these two lines, line L and line M. And so for that reason, this is in the interior. Angle 1 and angle 5 are in the interior. And they're on opposite sides of the transversal then. So this would be alternate interior angles. Okay, now we're looking at angle 3 and angle 6. Angle 3 and angle 6. I can already see that they're on the same side of each other, or basically in the same position. They're both going along this line right here. They're connected to that line M. So that's my transversal. And since these 4 angles could be stacked on the next 4, and the 3 would line up with the 6, they are corresponding angles. And angle 1 and angle 4 now. Angle 1 and angle 4 are along line L. So if I highlight my other 2 lines, N and M, and I look at the interior, I notice 1 and 4 are in the exterior, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal, which makes them alternate exterior angles. So this is along line L, and they're alternate exterior angles.